Hi, thank you for joining me. I'm Trish, just doing a part 4 on the Nicola Bulley reading. I've had quite a few requests. People have been messaging me asking me to do an update or number 4. They've been sending me questions, and there's been some really great questions in the comments. Thank you so much for your questions, and that's what I'm going to be asking on today. I'm going to be asking the cards on your questions. So I haven't been following the Nicola Bulley situation, not seeing a lot of it anywhere, so I'm just relying on the things that you're telling me and the questions that you're asking, and I'm just going to tap into the cards and ask them what they think about that. So I hope we can get some answers. Okay, just tapping into the energies here. First question, I'm going to be asking your questions that are in the comments. Okay, first question that I want to ask is that I'm okay to still look into this. I'm just asking my spirit team if it's okay for me to look into this situation to get more answers, to be reading on this situation. I'm basically asking their permission. Yes. Okay, so I'm asking their permission. What I'm getting here is this card here this is the light that I used to tap into. I'm also covered in goosebumps. So I tap into this gold light here when I'm channeling or getting information through. Now what it is saying, this is angels tapping through the golden energy, and we're writing a book, so we're getting information is what it is. So they're telling me, yes, I have permission to tap into that energy and to get more information. Okay, so now I want to tap into the energy of Nicola Bulley surrounding her death. We've got questions related to the people around her. Now, as I said, I haven't been following this situation. You've been giving a lot of names. I don't know who any of these names are, but I'm going to ask as you've asked in the comments. Okay, let's see what the cards say to that. Okay. So the card's answer to that is that, yes, I have a connection. I'm connected to them. There's more to this situation. There's a lot more out there. So apart from the questions that you've asked, there's also other questions. There's other inconsistencies within the situation that are not on my list of questions that are not in the comments. So there is other things. It's not just the things that you've mentioned that's saying that there's other things. Okay, I'm just tapping in here to see what this is. This is the card of take a chance. Okay, and this has come up when I'm talking about asking your questions. Okay, so let's see if I'm missing something here. So taking a chance, so there was a risk involved is what it is. So the card of taking a chance is about a risk. There's a risk involved. Okay. I'm not sure if that risk is, I just want to check, is that risk for me personally reading, because I do get headaches. I get headaches sometimes when I read really deeply. Okay, so the risk involved is that, okay, a loss. There's a loss of some sort, a confusion feeling. So I think that's just for that one. Okay. A risk. The risk could also be, because that card comes up quite a lot, and I've taken it as falling or tumbling, but it's a loss of something. So, and saying there's a risk involved around that loss. Okay, we haven't even started tapping in yet. We haven't even started getting into the energy. Yes, this is the networking card. This is what we're asking questions on today. So the cards are going to help me keep focused on the questions. So we are focusing on the network surrounding her death, the people that are involved, the network around her. So it is asking me to start with that first. I was going to actually start with one of a much easier question, and get warm, but the cards are saying they're ready to go. They're ready to ask questions regarding the network around her. Now, what I first of all want to ask is the people that were present where she was, and that would have to be, I would say, the caravan park people. Many, and I'm covered in goosebumps and hearing really weird sounds. Bear with me. Okay, we're asking about the caravan people. Was they involved in the death of Nicola Bulley, please? And we're jumping straight in, because I was going to ask really easy questions first, but these are the in-depth questions. Whoops. Okay. There was some kind of idea involved in this. I don't read big clumps I don't read big clumps of cards that come out, because it generally, what they're saying, the cards are wanting to pull one of the cards out and it pulls out a whole bunch of cards. But I just want to say here that here is what it's saying is that I had this card here before, the healing card, but I haven't quite figured out how this card relates to the situation. It took me a little while to realise that the slow down card that kept coming out before and I wasn't reading it actually was talking about the reeds, where she was found in the reeds. So I didn't know at the time that that's what that card was trying to tell me. It was only, I went into a meditation and the meditation showed me just the reeds, but it was showing me just the picture of this card, and if it comes out I'll show you what I mean. It's a one with a snail and it's just got the reeds at the front of it, but what the cards were trying to say is that the reeds, it's all about the reeds. But I wasn't reading it because the card's called Slow Down and I couldn't understand, I didn't think it was significant, so I didn't speak on it. But anyway, this is another card that falls out occasionally, and I haven't quite understood what the cards mean when this card falls out all the time. But anyway, getting back to it, we're talking about her death, we're talking about an attack, we're talking about some kind of anxiety around the situation, or could be locked away. This card is about being locked away or anxiety. So, and I haven't actually said that in any of the readings, that she was locked away. This card is the card I used to tap in. This is the golden light, so it's asking me to pull that energy through and strengthen the reading, strengthen up the energy here. Here we're talking about relationships around her, and I'm reading these cards that all fill out because I feel they're significant. This is, when we're talking about, we're going to be reading around the network, her network around her, or the people that were surrounding her at the time. We're also reading on her relationships as well. The cards want to talk about it. Normally I don't like to delve into any of that kind of stuff. I don't really want to know what's going on with a person before she went missing or before she passed away, but I feel like the cards want to talk about her relationships as well. Okay, and this one here is that we need to look at it from a different perspective. So I feel like we haven't quite nailed the perspective of there's something else around this situation. We're looking here, but there's all this other evidence or all this other information and things going on around here. And that's what the cards said earlier. They said there's more to the situation. So even though we're asking on the things that you've asked, it's telling me there's more to this situation apart from even those questions. So a lot of your questions were around surrounding the caravan park people. I believe you keep saying Penny is one of the ones that you're saying. Over and over again, people talk about who she is. Now, let's see. So that's who, okay. Okay, now when I talk about Penny, and this is the cards that come up for her, they're quite dark cards. So first of all, we've got the card of retreating. This is the card of the hermit. So this is a card of, okay, either she's got information. Here you can see there's information in the back, it's little books. So either she's got information on this situation that she's not sharing, she's not bringing to light, because you can see here it's quite dark. She's keeping the information in the dark. She has light to shine on it, but she's just bringing it in the back. Here this is called the psychic attack card. It's also what I call the attack card, and it's come up in pretty much every time I've read on Nicola Bulley. This card of attack has come up. There's 2 attack cards in my deck, 2 fighting cards, and they all come out. So, and as we're talking about Penny, when I was shuffling and talking about Penny, the cards that we're getting is something about secretive information in the dark not being brought to light, something about an attack, and something about this card here, which I've said here is about anxiety, social anxiety, fears. It's about sadness. It can be about, but it can also be about locking yourself away or being locked away as well. Just want to be clear to talk about that. So first of all, we're going to ask, was at any point surrounding Nicola's death, was she locked up? Was she locked away somewhere? Okay. Now that could be even somebody said that she was put in a tunnel of some sort after she died. They stored her in a tunnel. I'll have a quick little look at these ones. Okay, because I'm jumping between questions here is why I'm not reading from the question. I haven't asked the question clearly. I feel if you don't get the question out clearly, then you're not going to get a clear answer. So we want to be very clear and very specific about the question. So first of all, I'm asking, because the card of the lockdown and the anxiety come out, so I want to find out, are we talking about an anxiety thing here, some kind of emotional anxiety, or are we talking about being locked away? So that's what I want to just clear that up right now. Okay, at any point during Nicola's death, there's the fighting, there's the dog. So there was a fight surrounding the dog. We know that. That's what everybody's saying in the comments. So yes, we are now talking about Penny, and we're talking about the fight that surrounds the dog, the fight that's going on because of the dog. Okay, so that's coming to light. Cards are really, really active, and they're on it. The cards are on it, and they're really talking about it. So for now, for my job, for the cards are on it, they're given the answers that we need. The thing is here, we have to be asking the right questions. Now I've got a bunch of questions from you, but I feel like there's other questions that we're not asking that need to be asked. Here we're asking about a van, or we're asking about caravan. This is the card of the van. So we're asking about the van. Apparently somebody said there was a red van in my very first reading that I did, with the one with the awful sound. I got something about the van. This card came out before, and it was sitting next to a woman in a red dress. And a friend of mine, which is also a reader, she said, you know, there was a red van there that the police wanted to talk to somebody in a red van. So I don't know if we're talking about that red van here, or if we're talking about the caravan people, because we're still on the penny questions. And here is secrets coming out. So this is information, somebody's talking. This is information coming out. And I feel like the people that know this situation, I think somebody's leaking something. Somebody may be leaking information. Maybe they can't hold it anymore. Maybe they've consulted with somebody. Okay, getting back to the question that I asked. The question, and it's not on your list, it's the question that the cards are talking about. At any point in Nicola's death, either just prior to her death or after her death, was she locked up somewhere? Was she locked up somewhere, please? And I'm asking this cards because I want more clarity on the anxiety card where she's locked in a room. So please, that's what we're asking clarity on. Was she locked up at any point? Okay, let's see. Okay, so we've got here, sorry about that, we've got here crossroads. Okay, crossroads. Why have we got crossroads? Here's the crossroads. So we've got two of something. We're at a crossroads. There's two of something. Okay. There was distractions, and it was dark. So it was a darker area, foresty area, and I say that like an area of trees. There was trees surrounding. This is all trees. This actually here, this is I create these decks. People often ask me what decks I'm reading. I'm reading my own deck. This is 15 years in the making, this deck. This is what I do. I'm a photographer and a graphic designer, and I've been a reader all my life since I was 15. And this is about 15 years worth of my experiences that help me connect with the cards and read. That's why I read from my own experiences, and they're all here in this deck here. So yeah, that's why there's so many cards. Some are based on the tarot, because I also read tarot, and some are based on just experiences. And what I'm reading here, I'm coming back, I'm trying to stay very focused on where we are, so I'm not jittering all around. This card here was taken on a river. So this card here is one of my local rivers. I've got a couple of my rivers in these decks, and the river card always comes out. It's a different river. This river here is a very open space. There's more open space in this one here, but there's also lots of trees. There's trees in the area. It's kind of wooded. There's trees in this area. Across here, this is where the river is. So what it's saying, what this card is saying, the situation is she was in the area where there was trees. Yes, there's some open lands. There is a river, and there's some trees is what we're getting. And the question that I asked was she locked down? So I'm not actually feeling any, there's no cards here, there's no fighting cards. There is a crossroads. She was at a crossroads of some sort, but I'm not actually getting that she was locked down in anything. So I'm not seeing any tunnels here. I'm not seeing any, usually the card comes up of being tied up as well. We get a lot in this reading, but I'm not seeing that here as well. I'm getting that there's some kind of distraction. She was distracted. She was in the area near the trees and the field and the water, and she was distracted, and she was at a crossroads. So I'm not getting her being locked up in any way. That card hasn't come out. Okay, getting back to your questions. Was Penny involved in the death of Nicola? Please. This is your question. Okay, I'm back. This card here. Now I think we've had it before in this reading quite a few times. Now I've asked, and I perhaps might have. I wonder if it's come up when I've asked about her before. I did do a reading last week on this, but something, my autofocus was going in and out. Because I'm new to filming, I've been reading for many years, but I'm new to YouTube and filming, so I'm trying to get the technical side sorted out. I think I finally figured it out. But anyway, last week I thought I corrected the autofocus tracking, but what it actually did, it made it 100 times worse. It was just going in and out, putting everything out of focus. So I did read on it, but I wouldn't put that reading up because it was so terrible. The technical part was just terrible. But I'm wondering if this was one of the cards that came out last week, because I've got a feeling that when I spoke about Penny at one other stage, or I spoke about something, well, I got this card, because what I'm seeing here is somebody's holding onto a nugget of information. They've got information. You can see here there's three. So maybe 3 people know, or one person's holding on to something. There's maybe 3 people involved, or 3 people know of something, but somebody's holding on to some information. This card is also called Caution is Necessary. So it's about being cautious. It could also be that, and this is the card, this is the card that came out that was the creepy card. When I said that somebody was watching her, see the 2 eyes? The 2 eyes were watching her. Okay, this is very interesting. For one thing, in the last reading, I got that very, very, very creepy feeling that somebody was watching her. Now, we're doing a read on Penny. I just asked Penny, was she involved? Did she know something about it, or was she involved in the death of Nicola Bulley? Now, the card we've got here is either she's seen something, or she was the one that was watching her, because this is the card that I was getting the creepy feeling about somebody watching her. But here I'm drawn here to the 3. There's something about 3 here, or there's somebody, and this, because when I first picked this card up, I was very drawn to the information that Penny's holding on to, related to 3 people, or 3 of something. But this was the card that come out to say that somebody was watching her, so perhaps it was Penny watching her. Because apparently she doesn't like the dog being off the lead or something, so maybe she was watching her. Okay. Did Penny see her die? Did Penny see Nicola die? Please, did Penny see Nicola die? Okay, did Penny, the caravan park person, see Nicola die? No. There was a lot of destruction though. There was a lot of chaos and turmoil. She was either part of that or she saw that. So there was... This is my definite no card. So it always comes up when it's a definite no. So she didn't see her die. That's really interesting. I'm trying to place why that would be. But she did see something because she was watching. Her eyes were in that card. She was watching. She saw something. She's holding on to some nugget of information that she's not sharing, perhaps regarding 3 other people. So maybe she saw some kind of chaos or turmoil around 3 other people, or 3 people, and she's holding on to that information. But I don't think she saw her die. The card said no. The card said no, she didn't see her die. This one here is, it's called New Beginnings. Now this one here is about being... Now we're asking about Penny. Did Penny see her die? This is a little angel. This is an angel in an egg. Okay, did Penny see her die? It's also somebody that's got a trumpet. A trumpet generally means news coming, messages, information. Blowing your trumpet on something, it can also mean. Things like blowing your own trumpet, do you know what I mean? Like big noting yourself, kind of. Okay, I'm not sure how that one fits in, I'll be very honest. But anyway, what I'm saying is, did Penny see Nicola die? The direct answer is no, and it is, but she did see the distraction. So destruction, not distraction. I have both cards. This one is the very hectic card. It's the turmoil. It's the tower in the tarot. It's the chaos and the turmoil. So I asked, did she see her die? It said no, she didn't. She may have saw the turmoil, and that may be the information or the nugget that she's hanging on to. So does that imply to me that she's not saying it because she knows the people? Does she know the people? Does Penny know the people that was causing all the destruction of the chaos around Nicola? Does Penny know the people? Okay, so there was a definite lack of, there was a control to the situation. Okay. Control could be that she was trying to get the dog under control. She she was Penny, because we're asking on Penny, we're asking about, did Penny know the people that were causing the chaos card that come out? Maybe that's what she saw. Did Penny know those people, and maybe that's why she's not talking on them? This card here is at control, so maybe she's in control, maybe they're controlling her, maybe, that not to talk about anything. This one here is seeing the bigger picture. Seeing the bigger picture. That could imply that she saw the bigger picture. She saw the bigger picture, or generally has an idea of what the bigger picture is. She knows more about the situation, more about the bigger picture. Okay, this one here is... I've got to just jump over this one here. Creative expression, to me, sometimes it's a very happy card in a general pick a card reading about being yourself, being creative, but it can also mean having creative license over something. So it can mean lying. It can mean having creative license over something, like you're dictating or narrating or controlling the narrative, or controlling the what's been told about actually what happened. So maybe somebody could be, Penny is controlling, or somebody's controlling her as to what the narrative of the situation is, because this card here is about creative license and about having, you're the person that's saying what happened in a inconsistent or a lying way. You're taking creative license over it, so it's not the truth, it's your interpretation, or it's your you're controlling the narrative. You're saying it because we've got the controlling the narrative, and it's the bigger picture. So here is the bigger picture on, she saw the bigger picture, she knows the bigger picture, or she's see here, she saw a person here, so saw something. So I'm going to come back to that one. And here the lack of tolerance. Okay, because what I was leading up to at one point before I went on a tangent is she, did she have control over the people? Like, did she tell someone to go rough her up or something? Do you know what I mean? Like, did did Penny have control of the people that were causing the turmoil? But I was not getting that. The cards were very much directing me in a different direction, away from that question I originally came from, and it was asking me. It's more telling me about that she knows the situation, or she's controlling the narrative of the situation, so lying about something. Okay, here there's a lack of tolerance. We know that there's lack of tolerance in this situation. She had enough of that dog being off the lead, apparently, according to your comments. So that's the lack of comments. Okay, that was deep. Okay, so now we're going back to the turmoil. We're going back to the chaos and the turmoil that Penny saw. Okay. Okay, that's a card of assistance, of help. There was help in some situation, or some kind of assistance. And we had this in the last reading. We had this in one of the other two parts, part 2 or part 3. There was something about assisting. So somebody was assisting somebody. Maybe she tried to help her. Maybe she was assisting the situation, or Nicola was assisting the dog, because I remember back then the dog came out as well, around the assistance card. So there was some kind of assistance involved there. Now getting back to it, so we're saying that Penny saw some kind of chaos. She saw some kind of chaos. Saying that she didn't see a death, but she saw some kind of chaos. Perhaps she was involved in the chaos. Was Penny part of the chaos, please? Was Penny part of the chaos? Okay, this is creative expression again. So this is saying that there's that the narrative's not right here. The narrative's not right. I think we're going off track here. We're asking the wrong questions, and we've gone off track here. It's not the right narrative. Okay, so let's get back to your questions here. Okay, now somebody's saying orchestrated by 3 other people. Jealousy. Something about jealousy and greed. Or was the situation orchestrated by 3 other people? Okay, interesting, because we just had that card about, and I said there's 3 down there. Was it orchestrated by 3 people? Let's have a look. Okay, just had to pick up a card off the floor. So now you don't like to see them fall on the floor and not get read. Okay, what we've asked here is I'm directing off your questions, okay. Orchestrated by 3 other people. Was the situation orchestrated by 3 other people? Okay, I'm not getting any card here where there's 3 people in the card. I am getting 2. I am getting a card of 2 people. There's 2 people in a situation. Maybe when I was looking at the balls on that last question, maybe Nicola was one of them. Okay, so here we're coming back to the card of the van or the caravan, okay? Here is the end of a situation, the situation's end. So that could be the actual death or putting an end to a situation. It could actually be what it is. The chaos and the drama could have been putting an end to the situation. Okay, maybe she was, because we had the lack of tolerance card, so maybe it was like, that's it, no more walking your dog off the lead here in this area or whatever, and she was at an end with that situation, not tolerating it anymore and putting an end to that situation, and that's around the caravan park or the caravan or the van. Okay, so seeking guidance, so we're seeking information, we're seeking more information. Orchestrated by other people, guided by other people, perhaps. Okay, now we asked for, was it 3 other people? Here I'm seeing 2 people, 2 in this one here. And here is it busy, so lots going on in the mind. Lot on the mind. We know she had a lot on her mind because that came up in the very first reading. And what I'm thinking here is it's leading me back to the question I had to ask: was there something about a head injury? Was there a head injury? A couple of people have asked that. Was there a head injury? This one here would imply there was a head injury, but I haven't asked it, so I'm not taking it as the answer to that. I'm going to ask it, and if that hard card happens to fall out, then we know that's a yes. But anyway, so what we just asked, was it orchestrated by 3 other people? I'm not getting 3 other people. I'm getting maybe 2 other people. 2 other people were involved, and it doesn't mean that they orchestrated the death. It means they were orchestrating the end to the situation or solving that problem that they had. So there was 2 people that were trying, don't know if it was Nicola plus 2 or Nicola plus 1, but it was saying that they were putting an end to that situation. So that was the chaos, I think, around. They were putting an end to that situation, that fighting that they were having, because we kept getting the fighting cards. I don't feel the end of this situation means her death. I'm not getting that it's her death. I'm getting it's an end to that situation. Okay, let's just quickly jump in and ask, was there a head injury involved in Nicola's death, please? Okay, was there a head injury, please, in Nicola's death? Was it? Okay, I'll just quickly have a little scan. That's me tapping into more energy, telling me to get more energy in. This one here is a favourable outcome. It's also the dark river there. It's telling me about the river and the trees and the land. Okay, so I'm just going to just tap in, just pull in a bit more energy here. Okay, was there a head injury involved, please, with Nicola's death? Okay, there's a lack of tolerance around her death. Okay, there's the lies around her death. There's the river, floating on the river. It's very interesting because there's over 100 cards in this deck, and it's every time we talk about her death, I always get this river card, always, and have done since the beginning. So before we knew that she was passed away and it was a missing person, I was always getting the card here of the death. So where I've asked turmoil, get it all the time. All 3 readings so far that I've done, it involves a lot of turmoil around her death, fighting and turmoil. 2 people again. So we get this card quite often as well. We're talking about 2 people or 2 sides to a situation. Again, there's creative license or lies around the narrative that's been directed in this situation. So the question that I asked, was there a head injury? I'm not actually getting any kind of head injury on these cards. I'm getting turmoil, I'm getting river, because I asked, was there a head injury to do with her death? And I'm not getting anything here that indicates head injury. I'm getting there's some kind of lack of tolerance. There's a lot of turmoil and chaos. There is the river, floating on the river, there's lying about the situation, and there's 2 people or 2 sides to the situation. This card, I want to read a little bit more on this card here because it comes out a lot, and every time it comes out I says it's new. The card has come out on all 3 readings, and I haven't actually delved deeply into this one to find out what it means. Okay, so what I'm seeing in this card is there's doors. There's lots of doors, there's lots of light. So there's 3 doors to be exact. 3 doors in this situation. I think it's 3, could be 4. Could be 4. I think there's 4 doors. So what are you saying? Are there 4 doors? Are they 4? Okay. No, this card's not near a river of any type. All it is somebody spreading something, and there's 4 doors. I'm trying to get more information on what this card comes out, because it comes out all the time and I haven't figured out what it's trying to say. If you don't ask it in a specific way, you don't get a specific answer, and it comes out and I never know what it's trying to say. But I've asked for clarifiers, and what it's saying is that there is the death, the suspect motives around her death, and that's related to this card. Okay, so 3, 4 doors. Could that be to do with the caravan park, with the homes, 3 or 4 homes, caravan park? Maybe, is that what you're trying to tell me? Could this be like, because it's on a field, there's like doors to homes on a field. So maybe you're just trying to talk to me about the caravan park. You're just trying to tell me around that it's around the caravan park. Okay, here is, and we're saying death and suspect motives. Okay, getting back to your questions. Let's see. One of your questions was Paul having a black eye, please. Paul had a black eye apparently. Okay, fighting card. I'm going to leave that one out. Fighting. Okay, was he fighting? Who was he fighting, please? Okay. Okay, Paul having a black eye. Was that related to a fight? Balancing. So point of views, balancing. And something to do with the past or reviewing a situation. Okay, I'm going to put the cards back in again, and I'm going to ask that again because it came out before and I'll always tell you what the cards are that come out. Okay, we're not ready for you yet. That's my Nicola card. That is, I'm assuming this is my Paul card. This is my husband, by the way. So that's why I'm assuming that when this card comes out, we're talking about Paul. So if it comes out in the readings, we know we're talking about Paul. Thank you, cards, for clarifying that. Okay, so now we're talking about Paul. He had apparently a black eye. Was that related to Nicola's death, please? Okay. Okay, we've got the tied down. The tied down. Now, the tied down could be read in many ways. It could be physically tied down, physically tying somebody up, or he felt there was like some kind of, and I'm not going to read too deeply into it if it's the case, some kind of burdens, or he felt tied down in some way in the marriage. Yeah. And I felt like he was very distracted by something else or someone else. There was some kind of distractions around him, distractions. Okay, and this one here is a favourable outcome. It's got 2 birds in it. Okay, it doesn't talk to me about the black eye. Was the black eye, because why did Paul have a black eye, please? What was the reason Paul had a black eye? Fighting. Another fighting card. It's a fighting card. Okay, lack of tolerance. That's a fight to me. Okay, with Nicola, because that's Nicola. That's our Nicola card when we read here. And this is a letting go, forgiveness or a letting go. So perhaps there was some kind of, and somebody did ask, I think, was they thinking about breaking up or something? And I didn't want to, that's the kind of thing I don't want to get into. But because we're talking about Paul, these things are coming up. And the assistance card, so assistance, okay, and yeah, the letting go of something. But yeah, definitely it looks like there was some kind of fight. Okay, a lack of tolerance or something, or letting go. I feel like there was some kind of dramas around the marriage, and I'm not going to go further into that. Okay, so we asked if Penny saw it, does she knows more? Yeah, the cards definitely said, yeah, she knows more, because more come out and she's holding on to some kind of information, whether she's holding on to the fact that she's orchestrated something and she's controlling the narrative, or somebody's controlling her as to what she should say. But there was a control card that came up around her. She knows more to the situation. She saw it. Doesn't look like she saw the death, but she saw the situation, but she's being controlled about what she can say, or she's controlling what is being said, is what the cards come out with that question. Okay, so Black Eye of Paul we just asked. Caravan Park people, we've just asked about those. So Penny saw it, did she know? A lot of inconsistencies regarding the stories from the people that were first on the scene. And I think that's got to do with the narrative, why the inconsistencies, please. So, okay, cards, there was inconsistencies regarding the people that were first on the scene. I believe Ron, you said his name was. So there's inconsistencies in the story. Please tell me why that is. Please, cards, tell me why that is. Well. Okay, so we've got lots going on here. Okay, I'm going to read a couple of these. Right, first of all, walking the dogs. This is Nicola walking the dogs. 2 dogs. Could be regarding someone else's dog. Remember before in one of the other readings, or it could have been the one that I lost, something about the dogs. A white dog, lady in a red coat, white dog. Okay, so inconsistencies around that situation. The lady with the white dog. Okay, fighting. There's inconsistencies about whether the story hasn't come out about the fight that was going on or the fighting, but there's some kind of inconsistencies around the fighting. So the question that I've asked was there was inconsistencies around the story revolving the first person on the scene and the stories that are being told. But what we're saying is there's inconsistencies surrounding the lady with the white dog, red coat. I think Christine may be her name. I'm not 100% sure. Here is inconsistency. This is a very inconsistent card because what it's saying, there's no consistency in the shape and size of these circles. So there's definitely inconsistencies in many areas. It's not just one place, it's many areas. There's a few people being inconsistent in the stories they're telling or the narrative they're giving. Yes, the answer is yes. That's my definite yes card. So was there inconsistency to the story that the first person on the scene told? Yes, there is definite. He's not telling the truth. There's inconsistencies to his story. Suspect motives around that situation. He's maybe a suspect already in the situation. He's a suspect or there's suspect motives behind the reason why the stories are not being told correctly or information's not being getting. And I've been saying that from the beginning. So from the very beginning, I've been getting that there's inconsistencies because I was hearing the word inconsistencies about what's either been told to the police or what's been said is not lining up with actual events. And I do feel, and I'm sticking to that. The cards are still saying that. Okay, there's a regret and sadness around the situation. Here again, we've got, I'm just telling you what all those bunch of cards come out. Here is the one where we're saying that Penny's holding on to some information relating to other people or somebody that saw the situation. They saw the situation. So that's another inconsistency that she's maybe saw it, but she's not coming forward with that information either. This here is about the reflection and the water. So, and this one here is about dimensions and seeing. So some things are not coming through clearly. It's not coming through clearly. And no, and there's a no joy. It's not my definite no card, but it's a no joy. So it's like it's the information's not right. The information, and I'm saying the information that has been given by some people. So there's a group of people I feel that are not giving correct information. It's like it's a narrative, it's a story, and we've seen that creative card come up a few times. A creative narrative. So it's like there's some kind of inconsistencies or creative narrative that was being said. Okay, somebody wants to know if she was put into the river near the overhanging tree. Did Nicola go into the water near the overhanging tree? Either was she put there or did she go in there, please? Near the overhanging tree, please. Overhanging tree. Okay, here I'm getting the time card, the time management. But it's also, when I just spoke about it before it came out, it was talking something about tides. So I know part of that river is tidal. From the very first time I looked at it, it said some parts of that river is tidal. So I feel like she went in somewhere near it where it was tidal, where the water was tidal. Does it? Okay, so why was she found in the reeds, please? Why was Nicola found in the reeds? Okay, this is the crossroads again. Okay, to do with the caravan or the van again. Okay, this is here controlled, so controlled information. Either she was under somebody's control, she was being controlled, or they're controlling the narrative that keeps coming out. Crossroad comes out again. Okay, so at a crossroads. Was she at a crossroad? Was she at a crossroad, or did she get put in at a cross section? Or it's something about a crossroad or a cross section. Okay, the other thing I want to ask was the card kept coming out about being weighed down. She was heavy, weighed down. Now, I thought it might have been weighed down by, I think she was wearing boots or something. Maybe they filled with water. Okay, here it is. 2 people. I was going to ask, was she held down, is what I was going to ask. And that's her head, the head thing again. Something about the head again. Full. You can see it's full of something. It's full of something. Okay, so what I'm thinking was full is something full of water. Something. The reason why she's heavy is what I kept getting is it because it's full of water. Not 100% sure on that one. I need some clarifying cards. Okay, because what I was getting at there was I thought maybe I was going to ask, could somebody hold her down, please? Was somebody holding her down in the water? And again, we've got the crossroads. I'm not sure why the crossroads keeps coming up. Okay, did somebody hold her down in the water, please? Did somebody hold her down in the water? And that's... Okay, we've got lots going on here again. Okay, we've got a lot going on. We've got regret. There's regret to the situation. We're back near the water, back near the trees and the water and the darkness. That's Nicola. That's her holding the dog. Again, 2 people in the situation. There's 2 again. Keeps saying that over and over again. Okay, and here we're looking at, this is the family card or nature card. So we got this earlier in the very first reading. It was about her enjoying nature. I feel like it was also her thinking about her children. Situation could be tied up around relationships. This is about relationships, nature, lifestyle. Could be tied into her relationships or her children, something related to her children. Regrets. I know that when I was channeling in on the moment of her death, she was experiencing a feeling of she was regretting not getting back to the kids and the dog and that stuff. That's how I was feeling. I was picking that up in the moment of her death. This one here is back in the water, so it's at the water, and it is surrounding the network of people. Now I don't even know what the question is that we've asked here, but lots of cards came out on that situation. Okay, and I'm starting to lose a bit of focus here. I've only got a couple more questions to go. I wanted to know if she was tied down, and it kept coming up. Well, we know that she was tied down in some way. So was that she was heavy actually? So was that heavy because of water, or was that heavy because somebody held her down? And in that card we had 2 people. There was 2 in that situation. So can I just get a bit more clarity on that, please? Was she held down? Please, was she held down in the water? Okay, was Nicola held down in the water, please? Okay, I'm kind of not getting that. I'm not feeling it right now. I'm not getting goosebumps or anything like that to say I'm on the right track. Cards are not also popping. You'll notice these cards, when I'm on the right track with the question, they just go, they pop out, and they're really accurate cards. They're cards that come up all the time. They're cards that really specifically answer a question. When they don't pop out, or they don't specifically answer a question, it means you're on the wrong track. You're asking the wrong questions. So I feel that's the case here. I feel like, yeah, we're asking the wrong question with that. So no, I don't think that was the case. Okay, the other thing here, I think we've got all of your questions answered. Let me just ask if the cards, finally, do the cards want to ask anything? Cards, is there anything that you want to add to this situation that surrounds Nicola's death, please, or anybody involved in Nicola's death? Okay, we're wanting more information. We're all wanting more information. Okay, so we're after more information, please, on Nicola's death, surrounding Nicola's death, or other people that were involved in her death. Okay. Why am I getting happiness? Why am I getting the happiness card? That's very bizarre. Okay. I'm getting a whole... It's like I'm reading something completely different now. This is something that the cards are wanting to talk on, but it feels like I'm reading on a whole different situation. And remember, the cards did say there's more to the situation, more than the questions that have been asked. There's other stuff. There's other things in there. Okay, there's something about happiness. Could be a field. More information on something. That's what we're looking at. The cards want to talk about more information. We're talking about, this one here is connecting to the earth. Could be grounding. Could be the water. Could be back pain. Here we're talking about priorities. That comes up in her readings all the time. When I was reading on her in the first one, before I knew what happened, it was her prioritising. She had a lot going on and she was trying to sort through things. She was trying to prioritise a little bit more. Here is the turmoil. So then it was a lot of turmoil. It became turmoil. So here's the questions. The cards are saying that there's more to the situation. This is the card of being submissive. It's also the card of to do with the vaccine, but I don't think that's related to this situation. But it's a card of being dominated by another person. being submissive, being dominated by another person is what that card here is. So these are questions that haven't come up before, and the cards, I've said, cards, do you want to talk about something? And it said, yes, want to talk about the other stuff. So this is the other stuff. So something about happiness. Was somebody happy in the situation? So maybe there was people not happy. Well, we know that. We know there was people not happy. We know the caravan people weren't happy with the dog situation. We're getting that there was some kind of marriage things, that there was something there. So we know that is happening. And the cards are saying they want to look into that. And then there's turmoil around that situation. There's turmoil about all of the chaos that was going on in her life. Okay, that was a lot of questions to get through. I don't want to get drained again. Last time I did the part 2 and part 3, I ended up with a 2-day headache. So I don't want to read for too long. And I think I've already read quite a long time with this video anyway. Thank you again for joining me. I really appreciate you helping my channel grow. I love your questions, love your comments, and I love, if there's anything you want me to read on, comment down the bottom. It could be on this case, it could be on any other case. Happy to do readings. I'm growing the channel, love my reading, really getting into asking the cards and sharing the answers with you. So if there's anything that you want to know, just drop me a comment and I can read on anything basically. Read on most things if I get enough inquiries regarding it. But thank you once again for joining me. I do appreciate everybody, and thank you.